bit because it's quite long. You'll get very, very bored. So just to start us off, here we go. You ready?
Ready!
There once was a thing so huge you could hear the floorboards creak as it moved around the house. You could swim in its footprints and wash in its snot. It would walk around and tear the tops off mountains and suck on the glaciers before crunching on the stone. It would rip up the tall pines and use them to scratch its back and clean between its toes. It would use a sheep for an earbud, a flock of them roped together with a vine for a sponge, and when it went for a swim the tide came in. When it sneezed, great hurricanes would rush through the town and rip the washing off the lines, and when it farted, a great sulphurous fog would fall, and everyone would shut their windows for a month. These were the times I grew up in, and everything was better then. We had fun in those days. And fun was funner then. One time my grandparents came round for Christmas, and Grandpapa, he told a joke, and my Nana, she laughed for a whole year. She was still chuckling when they came back next Christmas, and he told it again, and she laughed for a year and a half more. It wasn't until summer she got her breath back and said it was funnier the second time round. He never told a joke again. In fact, he never spoke again. He would just open his mouth and Nana would start to chuckle, saying, "No, no, I can't take it, shut your trap." And he would close it without a whisper. I still smile when I see his poor, doleful face just itching to tell that joke again. We would tease him until he went so red in the face that steam came out of his ears. We put a kettle on his head to make tea, and it boiled so fast that in the end it exploded and blew the roof off the kitchen. Nana didn't mind. She just called it her conservatory and moved in her tomato plants. They grew big and red, but never so red as my poor Grandpapa. Artists would come to town to try and catch the colour of my grandfather's face. Picasso arrived, and for months he sat there mixing his paints, throwing it on the canvas, holding up the picture to my poor Grandpapa's crimson features. He gave up in the end. I believe that was when he discarded conventional painting and took up with his blue period. Red was then forever a disappointment to him. All around here was a forest once, where light would never dare to show its face. All was as dark as night, a dappled, shadowy place to be sure, where lurked creatures made of mist and shade that would wrap themselves around you to feed on your warmth. Wraiths they were, wary, shy things really, that I didn't mind giving what I had to spare if I'd had a good hearty breakfast of sawdust and stew. But at night, after a hard day's tarrying, when the black took on a darker hue, these were the times when they were less welcome. There were those I knew who had succumbed to the cold embrace of the wraith. They would sit slumped against a tree, ready to be absorbed by trunk and leaf, mould into the forest floor. Food for the cycle of life. They meant no harm, you see. Sustenance was all they craved, and if one was to come across one of these poor fellows, all that they could was to be let loose a hot stream of piss upon them. This was manna to the wraith and a reviving shock to the fellow. The two would part, and many's the old friend I've had to fight off, angry at being freed from that seductive embrace.
So I'm still waiting for my eye contact with Minerva.